Welcome back to another episode of Joga Bonito. We're back. Sadly, this week there will be no live music from the Heavy Heads band, but we had a fantastic episode last time. This week we'll be previewing the SPFL with some hot or not, as we have done so in the past. So, gentlemen, we're joined by Callum. We've got Callum on my left here, and we've got Matthew Burns. Journo, how are we?
All good, mate. Thanks so much for having me back, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, always good to be back at Joe Brew as well.
back in very cold, very cold.
It's a bit chilly, yeah.
And we have the heaters on.
Yeah, we did put the heating on to try and. But this is one of those places that it's absolutely roasting. See when there's more than 10 people in here, it is absolutely boiling.
The best place to come for a pint.
That is fantastic.
So we should really just invite all the randoms from the train station, just get them in.
Yeah,
get some heat.
Do a Joga Bonito live.
Yeah.
Like open goal at the Hydro, we'll do it at the Job Brew.
That sounds spectacular, mate.
Yeah, maybe we can do that next week. But anyway, back to the podcast itself. Callum, what have you been up to?
I've had a good weekend. A couple games of football. It's been two of the coldest games of football I've had for a while. I was doing some media work for Berwick, as I do on a Friday night. They've just signed Danny Handling recently. Remember Danny Handling? A blast from the past there, Hibs days.
Yeah.
They had Liam Buchanan earlier on the season. Fortunately, Liam's moved from the club. He's gone to Musselburgh. So best of luck to Liam there. Lovely guy as well, have to say. But I liked watching Liam Buchanan play for Berwick because he used to play for Raith Rovers. And one thing I didn't expect to see at Berwick Rangers this season was a player that played for Raith Rovers even earlier than Liam Buchanan in Danny Handling. So he was in to make his debut. Celtic B though, away from home, well, in Airdrie, I suppose, if you can call that home for Celtic at the Potato Stadium. Wasn't the best. They did lose 3-0, unfortunately. It was one of those games, just the B teams well, they've got lots of quality and they scored goals at the right times. And then Saturday, a bit of a better game for me. 4-1 Raith Rovers. Anyone that has doubted Mr. Jack Hamilton, they better be running away into retreat after he bagged a fantastic hat-trick. So I had a great weekend.
That's a fantastic weekend, yeah. How have you been filling the rest of your time, Callum?
Sunday was off. Yeah. Nice chill day on Sunday. I'll tell you what I've been watching a lot of recently. I've been watching a lot of Steve Bracknell recently. Are you guys familiar?
Yeah,
Royal Oak FC. I'm very late onto the trend, a couple years late. But it's better to be late than never, isn't it? Well, this has been filling my time up. These videos.
That's my philosophy.
Of course, we do a lot of short form content ourselves here at Joga Bonito. I've got utmost respect for Steve. I don't know if he actually edits the videos. I highly doubt it. But he's great at just getting the perfect sort of 15 snippets. 15-second snippets, sorry.
It's just a gold mine of pick out any quote from him, just going off. You can just use it.
I'd watch him if the videos were a minute long. They're not. They're 15 seconds. Absolutely brilliant. Him, Winnie, Royal Oak FC, absolutely fantastic. And apparently he's on the front cover of the Arctic Monkeys' first album.
We were talking about that before. It's
Just
20
crazy.
years since their first album, Arctic Monkeys, and they released quite a lot of photos they, I guess, didn't use for the front cover as part of that. So always like seeing kind of cool stuff like that in music.
And I can't believe it's actually him. What's Chris McClure is, I think that's the actual name. Absolutely brilliant.
Is that his real name's not Steve Bracknell?
No. He's Steve
It's
Bracknell's
like
a
a
character.
Mark Goldbridge type scenario.
Alan Partridge.
Is Mark Goldbridge not called?
His name's Brett something.
Oh,
Brett.
Yes. Okay.
I was going to say Brett Favre, but I think that's an NFL player.
Anyway, Steve Bracknell's a character.
He was a former policeman as well.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But
you're not going to disclose your real name, Callum?
Not just yet. Maybe
you've been a character all these 45 episodes.
1,000 subscribers.
That's the goal.
Hog reveal.
Hog reveal of my name.
Secret identity revealed.
Do you think Tony P in DC is actually not Tony P?
I'm not sure about Tony P in DC.
He could be a regular guy who's...
Yeah, he's been getting a bit of backlash recently as Tony P for his content. He's sort of gone quite mainstream with it. But that's enough Tony PC chat, right?
We did touch on him a lot.
Steve Bracknell has really... Yeah, Tony P in DC. My week wouldn't be the same without him, to be fair. But I just want him to go back to the days of cooking salmon, that kind of thing. But he's really sort of going into mainstream sort of celebrity news these days, but Steve Bracknell's been keeping me entertained, so yeah, it was a good Sunday.
Who would be in your ideal sort of dinner guest list? I'm thinking, for me, Steve Bracknell and Tony P in DC.
I think Steve Bracknell has to be at the head of the table type thing. You can't push him off the side, get him in the corner. He needs to be in as part of the conversation. He's kicking everything off. I think.
I'm thinking maybe you've got Dick Campbell on one side, Steve Bracknell on the other, Tony P at the end, to sort of he would present proceedings. I think he would kind of,
Yeah.
a couple of arm rolls. He would bounce between Dick Campbell and Steve Bracknell, and then who could you throw in for a bit of a laugh then?
I only got a bit too McIndoe would be quite good.
McIndoe, yeah.
But no, that's what I've been up to recently. I've seen some of them in program. I think one of the West Ham young players did that in a program recently. Quite a lot of right wing sort of political figures in there. Like,
was it Potts? Is that?
Was it Potts? Yeah, I think it was Potts,
yeah.
the young midfielder at West Ham, and he wants to have like his dream dinner with like Elon Musk and Donald Trump and all very high performance stuff.
Young guy.
Weirdly, we actually, this was totally coincidental, but we were talking about this before, and you talked about Damien Delaney's, which is just
Damien Delaney, former,
really,
what was he, central defender at Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
And he wants to have his dream dinner with like Joseph Stalin. He was like,
and Napoleon Bonaparte.
yeah, no, I'm just really interested in this.
It's like
stuff,
the most bizarre choices you could have got.
Yeah,
he's just very well read up on his communist literature. Or
he did like sort of hammer home that he's not, like a communist himself. He's just really interested in it, And
he likes history, or he's interested in history.
Yeah. Historical figures, fair enough, I guess. Yeah.
And I guess who you have at dinner.
I mean, we'd have Tony P and DC at ours, so we can't really talk.
It doesn't necessarily have to be people that you like at the dinner. You just
we like Tony P.
Well, yeah, some people that you would
compared to Stalin,
be interested in.
Yeah, Stalin's probably more interested than Tony P. But yeah, that was my weekend. So
fantastic weekend, and you haven't appeared on the radio lately, Callum, have you?
I have not, but I was very pleasantly surprised recently to see a couple men that we know quite well at Joga Bonito. I think this man to our left could tell the story a bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Friday, I went on BBC Radio 1 Newsbeat previewing Hearts Celtic at the weekend, and I was joined by, of course, a friend of the podcast and Hearts man himself, Callum Fraser. We were interviewed by Peter Gillibrand, I believe how you pronounce his last name. Very nice guy. Yeah, came up from York. I think he was reporting on another story down in York, but he's a Welshman. Really nice guy. So yeah, just kind of previewed the game, and it was good fun. I think it's one of those opportunities you can't really pass up, to be honest. Talking about one of your favourite clubs on the airwaves.
Yeah, exactly. What was Peter Gillibrand's sort of knowledge of Scottish football then, if he's a Welshman living in Yorkshire?
So we quickly talked about that kind of thing, like right before we started on the walk to Tynecastle, and he was very much like, he had like a decent like baseline understanding, I think, of just like the title race. And we talked a bit about Martin O'Neill, and he was like saying how funny it is just seeing him like back and like just talking about his kind of overall kind of character. I guess he just doesn't seem like somebody who would be like a really, I don't know, aggressive football manager or something like that. So we're just kind of talking about a few things like that, and then, but yeah, it seemed pretty spot on with his kind of overall knowledge.
You feel at home on the radio?
I felt very at home. I think that's the good thing. I don't know, I think a lot with like the BBC presenters seem to be very good at kind of making it feel very conversational. I think that's the kind of style of the show anyway, but yeah, I was happy with how it went. And then they asked me to come back on yesterday morning, just a quick Zoom call, kind of just or the other day, just reflecting on the game. So that was a bit of a shorter one, but again, another appearance in there. I think I'm stat padding at this point, but I'll continue as long as I can. But really good experience.
Some might say as well, I mean, that's just the common influence of Callum Fraser, really.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That guy's wasted doing football media. He should be doing bedtime stories for kids or something like that.
Absolutely. Well, he's experienced now. He's been on TalkSport. He's been.
He gets about it.
He's a veteran of the game. But hopefully Peter Gillibrand is watching, and he is. If he's looking for a little news segment on Saturday for the big one, Ayr United versus Wraith Rovers, there's two people sitting here that could give a little bit of insight.
Main candidates for that, yeah.
Desperate for insight into that one. No one apart from us, really.
So it's 5v6.
National news.
So
UK wide.
This is bottom half.
Big time, yeah.
It's as big as it gets, really.
So Matthew, from BBC to Joga Bonito in the space of a week. That's the start of the slippery slope, isn't it? Downhill from the crew.
I think we're only on the up.
You peaked, but thank you for joining us.
Who's got a better mic, BBC or Joga Bonito?
I was going to say, they don't have that's what I was looking for, the sticker. His was kind of, the logo, the Newsbeat logo was kind of fading away a little bit on the mic cover or whatever, but I didn't mention that.
Budget stretched at the BBC.
I think I have to go with Joga on this one. I think they clear it.
We'll take that as well.
There we go.
And did anyone on the BBC have a match-worn John McGlynn
They,
tracksuit?
they did not. I don't think there's been.
I feel terrible for our audio listeners that don't get to see the high fashion that we wear.
Yeah.
Me and John McGlynn, same size, which is quite good.
Yeah, I mean that's almost surprising. I mean he is quite short, kind of stocky, I guess. But
Who? Me or McGlynn?
yeah, John.
McGlynn. This is actually an extra
But this
large.
is like
I don't
from.
really feel like an extra large, man.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Joma go for the smaller made.
they
extra larges.
do go for a tight fit. So
Were they
part of this.
were they just trying to use up the letters? How come they as well just writing McGlynn on there?
JMCG.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot of extra effort they've gone
Was
to.
there already a JM? Was there already a JMC? Just
Oh, I feel that's.
I like it. I mean, it's
It's very John
Like a
McGlynn. I
mistake.
feel like I'm
Yeah,
glad
yeah.
they went for that and just included all the letters.
Yeah, I think this is the exact one he was wearing when he signed David Goodwillie. So continuing on
moving
that
on,
legacy.
Historical.
Yeah, moment in history. Fraser, you got much more to add to this? You been up to anything? Have you left work this last week?
I was working partially, but I was off on Saturday, which was good. Found myself at an Ayr United game, which is
How did that go?
not particularly regular occurrence at the moment, but probably should have stayed at home. Or that's how it felt after 20 minutes of chaos, really, from an Ayr United point of view. But turned into a fantastic game in the end. We obviously lost, but 2-1 in the end. Almost, it didn't feel like a win. I'm not going to say that. It's crazy, but considering that we,
You're down bad. We lost 2-1. It felt like a win though. It felt like
Small victory
like
to
a
me.
victory, yeah.
it really, considering that we were a Liam Russell toenail away from being 3-0 down after about 18 minutes, 2-1 actually in the end wasn't catastrophic. I think there was a lot of positives. It was a fantastic. I thoroughly, if I'd been watching it, I kind of watch football now a wee bit more. Because we do the podcast, I'm kind of looking at watching football a little bit more from a neutral point of view. Like, obviously I was watching the game as an Ayr United fan, but I was also kind of, looking at Partick, seeing what they were up to.
And you were in
more
the
than I
Thistle
would-
end, was that right?
that doesn't need reported. I was with my uncle and my cousin, so I was in the Thistle end, so I kept my hands firmly in my pockets, but I didn't really need to because Ayr were shocking.
Sounds like you did keep your hands on
Nothing to really celebrate.
Yeah.
Or try not
But,
to celebrate.
But it did. It got really good. First, Ayr actually started really positively, and I thought it was like a basketball game. First 5-10 minutes, and then Logan Chalmers got away from Kevin Holt and slotted it in. Thought that's okay. Ayr concede quite regularly, so that's not too bad. We'll get back into it 2 minutes later. Luke Macbeth with a World Cup Willie pass, by the way. The angle I was sitting at. Wonderful cross in. Alex Samuel sort of glanced it in. I thought that's okay because Ayr United can get back into it. 2 minutes later, Logan Chalmers was stepping up for a penalty. I thought this is awful. This could be. It's going to be the playoffs all over again from a few seasons ago. But big Liam Russell stuck his toe out and saved us. And Ayr did all right, to be fair. They battled, and Scott Brown made a change at half time, brought Curtis Main on, who got the goal, caused a bit of havoc. Should have maybe got a second when he was through 1-on-1, and they battled well, but Thistle they just had a wee bit too much in the end. So it was a thoroughly enjoyable game from the new. It got right tasty at the end as well. It was proper. It was like a cup tie. Scott Brown got sent off, so pantomime villain obviously at Firhill. So it was an enjoyable. We got our money's worth, put it that way. But from an Ayr United point of view, it was disappointing, but.
Sets the weekend up beautifully. 5th versus 6th in the Championship.
It does. Without that loss, it would be a meaningless 3rd versus 6th.
But the battle for the most mediocre position in the Championship
Exactly.
takes another interesting turn. So I'm sure we'll catch up on that next week.
Exactly. So, but anyway, this week we'll be looking back to some other games into the context of some teams and their season. Going back to our lovely segment that we thoroughly enjoy, Hot or Not, SPFL style.
Yes, I'm very excited for that. Should we just jump straight into that then?
Yeah. So
well,
before we get
the intro first.
I'll run the intro. Yeah.
Run the intro, yeah.
Intro. Take it away.
You're a long way from home. This is Brazil.
James McFadden scores for Scotland. The afternoon belongs to Lewis Vaughan. Make it 3. It's 3-0. absolute classic from Stephen Kingsley.
So in this segment of SPFL Hot or Not, we'll run through 2 teams from the Premiership, 2 from the Championship, 2 from League One, and we do apologise before we start because there's only 3 of us. We're missing out League 2 this week. We are a big it is the best league in Scottish football.
You do keep saying that, and I do actually tend to agree. We've got midweek action. We'll date this podcast it. We're recording on a Tuesday. There's some big games tonight. Obviously, we've also got some KDM games, but I don't think they're too important for the league segment of this, basically. So sorry to any League 2 fans out there, but Stranraer will be back to talk about you soon. Don't you worry.
We certainly shall be. But yeah, we're going to focus Premiership, Championship, League One. On the KDM, St Johnstone versus Ayr United postponed.
Oh, is it already? Oh, well.
Postponed.
One less game we have to worry about dating this podcast with then.
Which is disappointing. But back to sort of the league action. We're going to start off with the Premiership from the top. And we'll start off with our guest, Matthew Burns. You're going to lead the way for this one?
Absolutely. I think for the hottest team at the moment for me, just going off the weekend's results in particular, would have to be the Steelmen. Motherwell, they recorded a 4-0 win over the struggling Kilmarnock at Fir Park at the weekend. Yeah, and Bertholascu's side has obviously extended that lead over Hibs to 5 points as well. So that's obviously been massive for them, and they just continue to thrive this season, guys. They could really prove to be a real thorn in the side of the likes of Hearts, Rangers and Celtic going deeper into the season, and could really have a huge influence on who wins this league title. And they could be in that conversation themselves potentially. I think it's a team that's not only entertaining to watch, but they play some great football, but they get the results as well. So you're getting the best of both with that. Obviously, looking throughout the team, Elijah Just gets another goal at the weekend. For me, he's been one of the strongest players in the league this season by a country mile.
Oh, you don't need to tell us. Elijah Just chat around.
I'm sure there's been plenty of talk of that in the podcast.
Joga Bonito, this is, yeah.
I think, a player that can obviously add goals from midfield, 4 now in the league after the weekend, 6 assists as well to go with that. Really crucial player for Motherwell as well. And then just to touch on Tawanda Maswanise, we were talking a little bit about, I'm a big fan of his, and another player that's been on fire. I think he's 11 goals now in the league, 2 assists, and obviously just came back from AFCON as well, where he was voted the most promising young player at the tournament, and he only played 1 game out of the 3 games. But he scored against South Africa, and he also shot for the own goal in that defeat as well. So obviously getting a little bit more recognition on the international level as well is...
Matthew, I absolutely love your note for Tawanda Maswanise. I'm just peeking over your laptop here, and I'm a really big fan of it. I'm a really big fan of his. I'm love that.
And yeah,
I'm just a big fan.
Bolded, yeah.
You just have to be. He scored, didn't he? What was it? The second goal?
Yes, after
Lovely goal, yeah.
Lovely strike. That guy is flowing with confidence. And one thing we've spoke about before is, I don't know if it was on the podcast or off the podcast, one thing that's sort of a pet peeve of me and Fraser, I think, is that as soon as a player starts doing well, and sort of, I don't know if it's the media or it's Old Firm fans just start saying, right,
Sign him.
let's test them. Well, whatever Hearts play for Braga, we'll give them an extra 100k, and Maswanise 3.5 million. It's like...
You're in cuckoo land with it, honestly, with a lot of that stuff. But as I say, Motherwell now unbeaten in their past 9 home matches in the league.
They haven't in a row.
And they have, yeah, and they also haven't conceded a goal, Fraser, either.
No, of course. And I'm Motherwell's biggest fan in this. I'm sure you'll touch on this later, Matthew. But that clean sheet graphic that I saw on their Twitter is fantastic, and they absolutely should roll that out. Yeah. But we discussed this at length before. You guys were on the side of VAR. I wholly disagree. So we should have a 9th clean sheet.
A Liam Polworth bull hair away from...
It's really just a big toe.
Yeah, that was... you can vent your frustration on that one if you want.
Yeah, I just think VAR, if you're watching, come on, man, you're ruining football. This is an Ayr United fan speaking here on behalf of every Kilmarnock fan. I think that was a lovely, a beautifully worked goal.
Yeah.
Sort of Route 1 football, but then with a little bit of class and guile just sprinkled over the top at the end, and poor Liam Polworth rounded the goalkeeper, slotted it in, absolutely rained on top of them. Their Motherwell parade, you know, their clean sheet record, and it was off. But I think we analysed it at length. I think it possibly
it's so close. Yeah,
that's one of those ones where, in my opinion, I think VAR just needs to, when you need to draw lines to that extent where it's not actually conclusive either way. I think, and you said, Callum, stick with the on-field decision, which I think was a goal. I think Kilmarnock were unfortunate there, but not taken away from Motherwell, they have been fantastic. And their nine-game clean sheet record at home at Fir Park is probably unheard of from many teams in Scotland, never mind just Motherwell.
I think obviously Askew as well, after the game, he said obviously they started bright, but like you mentioned, the offside goal there, I think once that got chopped off, that was a real turning point for them. They kind of kicked into gear a little bit more. And as he said, yeah, they stepped in the pedal and didn't really look back in the game, and that's been typical of Motherwell this season. You know, if you're going to get chances against them, you really need to take them and be clinical, because with the attack and firepower and the strength they've got all throughout the team. I mean, you've got the likes of Stephen O'Donnell playing centre half, and but they've been really key, and obviously Paul McGinn as well has been crucial for them in defence as well this season. So it's not just the attackers that we talk about every week, it's these players that are kind of going under the radar as well in defence and making a big impact.
For me, I don't know what your thoughts are, but possibly the most impressive thing about Motherwell in their season so far is the fact that when you look at their settled best starting 11, you think that's fantastic. It's free flowing, it's brilliant. They're solid at the back. With Stephen Welsh, before he got recalled by Celtic, was playing at centre back. You've got strong full-backs, you've got good midfielders. But in recent times, Elliot Watt's got injured. You've had players sort of coming in and out of the team. There are whoever plays up front. Mazwanisi's maybe played through the middle or on the wing. At the weekend, they started through the middle. You've got Callum Hendry. I think he's been injured starting. Sometimes maybe not starting so much. Stamatolopoulos, tripping over my tongue there, but he's been kind of in and out the team. But it doesn't seem to affect their level of performances. You've got Tom Sparrow playing at right wing or right back. The way that Bertolascu is able to kind of chop and change their starting 11, and it doesn't affect the quality on the pitch, it's astonishing for a team with their resources. It's really quite impressive.
We're gonna get a little voice box for you anytime you need to say Stamatopoulos or something like that.
I was about to say it.
Remember when we met? When he just signed for Motherwell, we met Gogsy like not long after, and his pronunciation
Was it good?
He's been practicing that.
Unreal. But, we'll get a little voice box.
Stamatolopoulos.
There we go.
Bang.
We'll call that, and anytime you say it, just play it there.
Just like
there we go. And just check that. There's a show called The Mighty Boosh that I used to love watching. There was a guy in that would just record wordy light, and then when you want to say it, just play it on his voice. That would be you with Stamatolopoulos.
I really butchered that there. If you can edit that out.
Quickly, just to say about Motherwell, I totally agree, Fraser. I think it's so rare to see a team that's had. You'll have injury issues and chopping and changing it, and still picking up results and still getting wins. And that, I think that's a testament to his side and talent.
Well, it's the system, not the individuals, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's been so impressive this year. I'll ask both of you if either of you want to answer, or you both want to answer, I suppose. How high up do you think Motherwell should aim this season? Where should they be shooting for? Maybe potentially a bit unlucky that they've came into a season where obviously there's been the third force sort of at the top of the table, but where do you think Motherwell should look for the rest of the season?
I don't want this to come across as sort of clickbaity, but I genuinely, if I'm not mistaken, they're only 10 points behind Hearts.
That would be correct.
Is that true? I honestly, and I mean this, first.
Right, Matthew.
on that note, no, listen, I think
I'll back it up. I will back it up if you.
Okay.
But you go first, and then I'll.
I think Motherwell this season, the way that they're going, they should be aiming high. Of course, they should be. I just think with the race in the top three, I mean, Fraser mentioned there, obviously Hearts are 10 points ahead. It would be crazy if Motherwell to go all the way and just overtake them, and I think Hearts would have to go on a really brutal run for that to be, and then obviously Celtic and Rangers as well. So, like Callum said, I think they're probably unlucky that this is the season where they're really pushing, because they are one of these teams that seem to really start well and kind of drop off and don't really have that consistency, and they've really found it with this new manager. But having said that, I think top four. I think they'll get fourth.
Fourth would be.
I think they're pretty.
Fourth in itself would be a superb achievement
For them, 100%.
Hibs are a strong team as well. They've had a bit of a wobble recently. Falkirk's had a great season. Fourth would be brilliant. If they could just keep pushing, and if they could disrupt that top three, then what a season. Actually phenomenal.
At the very least, having a big influence on that title race.
Because it seems like Rangers and Celtic have got their house into order a little bit in terms of picking up results, and obviously we know what Hearts can do. If they could push for that third position, then fair play to them. I mean, they get all the credit they deserve, even if they finish fourth. But what season to be saying Motherwell a lot potentially for fourth place is a phenomenal, overturn this season.
Can I just quickly, and before we talk too highly of Motherwell for too long, but just to back up what I'm saying about them, I honestly don't think they've shown in recent months that they can back up good performances with consistent results. And your stat there of 9 home games with clean sheets. Mm-hmm. They've turned Celtic over. They've beaten, I think Hearts is included in that. They've played these teams. They were unlucky away from home against Rangers, lost 1-0. That was a good performance from a strong Rangers side. To be 10 points behind at this point, okay, it's probably a little bit much, but if I'm Jens Bertolaska, I'd be saying to those players, look, you play the way you're playing every week, and Lucas Fadinger's come in, Priestman, Slattery are playing phenomenal football. Elliot Watt, when he comes back, will make such a difference. They made the new signing, Björn Golfsson, I think, looks like a bit of a player. Yeah. If he can make an impact, and they keep Tawanda Maswanise, the way they're playing it, and if they continue to be tight at the back, they can take on any team in this league, and if they continue the form they're in, which again, that's a massive if. Yeah. They're playing with more confidence and more consistency right now than Celtic are. Rangers look really strong and quite comfortable at the moment in what they're doing, so it could be difficult to sort of rein them in. But Hearts, almost maybe victim of their own success, where they're the hunted rather than the hunter. It's a wee bit more difficult for them. They're maybe at times a little bit more nervous. Saw against Hibs that they're a team that can be got at as well. So I don't think Motherwell are out of this. I don't think they'll win the league, but they can definitely. They're not out of the title race whatsoever, and I think they could easily finish second or third if they continue in the vein of form that they're in. So that's just. Yeah, maybe I was a little bit clickbaity saying
that was a long-winded way of saying you don't think they're going to win the title, but they're very good. But
but I don't think they haven't beat Hearts this season, have they? Mind you said
they haven't, but I think
0-0 and 3 each at time.
Each at Tynecastle.
But it could have very easily been a Motherwell victory, especially in the away game.
It's now they're translating the performances from the start of the season where they maybe weren't picking up the wins that they should have been getting. They're now turning into wins rather than draws or losses. So they are a joy to watch. They got a wee bit of luck against Kilmarnock obviously at the weekend, which I'm sure Matthew you'll know.
Well, yeah. So down at the other end of the table, then there's been a few teams where things haven't been looking quite as peachy. And last time we did a hot or not, we did cover Kilmarnock, and things haven't hotted up for them in any way, shape, or form. I would mention quickly before I think you'll probably give us a bit more background into recent form for Kilmarnock is. They did show some shoots of promise in that first half. They actually came out the better team. Neil McCann, heard him after the game. He was saying that his team did come out well. They showed some signs of promise, I think. Obviously, unlucky for that goal getting ruled out. Tom Lowry then for 2 yellow cards, potentially a bit on the harsh side. Showed flashes. Tyrese John Jules and Marcus Dacker's up front. Look, maybe they could cause a few issues for that centre-back partnership of McGinn and O'Donnell, but ultimately they didn't lose the game because of the offside and the red card. They lost it because poor defending, 4-0 loss, and sums up what has been a terrible run of form for Kilmarnock.
Yeah, I think for me it had to be Kilmarnock. I know you guys have talked a lot this season already and we've kind of just came back around to it, but Kilmarnock are winless in their last 17 games. They haven't won a game since the start of October, 16 since their last league win, if you want to count that as well. So, yeah, obviously their last win came against St Mirren at the start of October. I think Neil McCann and Billy Dodds have got a real task on their hands to keep Killie up this season. It's been a real struggle for them. Listen, looking ahead, if they failed to win at home to Aberdeen next Saturday, and then I think it's away to Rangers after that, you're looking at their worst ever league run since I think it's something like 1981 or something. So it's been pretty poor from them. McCann talked obviously a little bit about the positives. You mentioned already the positive start they had to that first half, but obviously get the goal chopped off, and it seemed to be one-way traffic then for Motherwell to really just, as I say, kick into gear as well. But I just look at this Killie team and I really struggle to find where this creativity and this firepower is coming from consistently. And it's also a team that's constantly leaking goals as well. So you add all that into the mix, it's just not shaping up to be a very good season for Kilmarnock. Obviously, it's been extremely poor, but as I say, for Neil McCann and Billy Dodds, I do feel for them coming into this situation, because it is a complete mess at the moment for them.
What are your thoughts? They have made a few signings this window, though. Got Kellaroos now coming in. Do you think that in any way could a lot of their problems probably stem from the fact that they didn't really have a recognised number one maybe at the start? Is that fair to say? Where they were sort of chopping and changing between a couple of goalkeepers. They've now got an experienced goalkeeper. I think he's had a few howlers so far, but he's clearly Scottish Premiership quality. Do you think in any way that could...
I think it's a signal from them that they are trying to get in a player that's at least got experience in the league, that has that kind of know-how and trying to get them through these games and trying to pick up results. But as I say, if you're constantly leaking these goals in defence and not really able to add up much up top consistently, then you are really going to struggle, especially even like against the teams that are kind of in and around the relegation zone as well. I just think, I look at this Kilmarnock side, I mean, obviously St Mirren are struggling, but they could very easily turn it around a little bit, and they have enough in their team to kind of do that. And I just, as I say, I look at this Killie team and I really struggle with them to see any positives coming out of this season for them. So
yeah, on the goalkeeper thing though, you very rarely see teams get relegated with a good goalkeeper. That is one thing that you see in football. You know, you think back to like that Dundee United team that got relegated, Mark Birighitti in goal, and every team you can look at, you can often pinpoint they've not really got a good goalkeeper. You've seen Trevor Carson keep Dundee up. You know, like, well, he's not kept Dundee up, but for example, that was one of the first bits of business they did this year, having Blessing Oluwemi in goal. I wasn't convinced he was a Premiership goalkeeper. Kellaroos just came in and had a bit of a nightmare already, but just puts a bit of a target on his back. Obviously, they had Max Stroik at the start of the season, and it's a bit gutting what happened with him dropping out of the team. He's a top quality goalkeeper, but just a lot of these things add up to a recipe for going the wrong way, and perhaps they are just lucky. And I don't know if it's something we can even talk about, that if you were in the killer camp, that at least there's Livingston, and Livingston's somehow even worse.
That's the ironic.
That's the saving grace. So
it's cynical, but
I could see that bottom two. Obviously, the points tally is, there's not a guarantee at all that they're going to get cut adrift, but just the form, the way it's going, looks like that bottom two might get cut away a little bit. St Mirren, you'd expect to up their performances a little bit out of any of the three. So, concern in terms of Killie, a club maybe going in the wrong direction, could be on a crash course to the Championship. Fraser, I don't know if you want to take us to your teams or.
Well, certainly we can. You mentioned Trevor Carson having a big impact at Dundee, and he's having an equally good impact at Ross County. So,
are you really going to go in with Ross County as your hot team? This is not something I would have expected just a month ago.
No, Ross County are. The reason I'm going for Ross County as my hot team, because there's not really any hot teams in the Championship.
No, I mean, they've had a little upturn though.
It depends where we sort of move our sort of time stamp back to. If we're going back to the start of the weekend, then Raith Rovers are the hottest team in the league. There's just no one. The form for all 10 teams is kind of all over the place. But Ross County, I think, certainly will be one of the happiest teams in the last few weeks. They've really sort of turned a bit of a corner. They're the team in the league with the most goals conceded. They're the team in the league with the least goals scored, or second least goals scored. But since Stuart Kettlewell came in a few weeks ago, they have kept 3 consecutive clean sheets in the league against two of the best teams in the league and one of the form teams in the league as well, against the RJ Onions at the weekend. So I've gone Ross County. Trevor Carson's had a big part to play in that. Since their 0-0 draw against St Johnstone, which many at the start of the season thought was going to be a sort of title deciding fixture, but they managed to keep Josh McPake and co out, and then their win on under the lights in Dingwall against Partick Thistle in front of the BBC cameras, where they played really well. They were sort of resolute. Partick Thistle looked like they kind of had no ideas and how to sort of break down the Ross County defence. Jay Henderson with 2 really good goals in the first sort of 15 minutes of that game, and then at the weekend they played well against RJ Onions, and RJ Onions, who are a really good football inside at the moment with some great young Scottish talent as well. So I've gone with Ross County. The crazy thing is, if you look at the form table for the last 5 games, 2 of those games were horrific losses. One of them possibly Ross County's worst league loss in the Championship, maybe ever, at the hands of your team, Callum. But since then, Stuart Kettlewell's come in and they've turned a bit of a corner. If you just look, I mean, this has been the story from the start of the season, but just now it looks like they've got good balance. They're starting 11 strong, and then you've got guys like James Scott coming on, just peppering the goal with shots, just causing havoc. You've got Kieran Phillips coming on. You've got Ryan Duncan. Ronan Hale was on the bench at the weekend, so he's coming off the bench against their Juniors away from home to just go.
Did you see Ronan Hale's celebration for the winning goal on the weekend, or lack thereof?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, it does look like Ronan Hale's got 1 foot out of Ross County at this moment in time, because great header from corner to win the game, and it looks like County chased that winner in the game and got it. Huge result, 1-0 win. Away to also under the lights, my friend. Every game is under the lights this time of year. But as the ball went in back of the net, Ross County teammates all went off to the corner to celebrate, and Ronan Hale just picked up the ball and walked off. So
that's a sign of a winner. He's not happy. He's not happy his team are.
Well, if it was an equaliser and like pick up the ball, let's go.
He looks 1 foot out. But yeah, you're right. Ross County, they've obviously got the players, and they've still probably got, I think, another 9 first team players that weren't even involved in the squad for that game.
Yeah.
But Stuart Kettlewell's certainly gone in. Maybe just embrace the fact that, yep, we are fully in a relegation fight here.
Yeah.
And they keep picking up points. They've clawed the way off bottom, which is just going to be, I feel that's just going to be a big relief to the squad mentally. But look to just, put the foot down now and climb that table a little bit.
I've sort of talking about the attacking threat and James Scott, Ronan Hale, Jay Henderson, Jordan White, etc. But a big shout out, I think, has to go to Alex Iakoviti as well. He's really stepped up.
Him and Dylan Smith put in one of the worst performances I've seen from central defenders at Stars Park in that game.
That 6-0.
As did Declan Gallagher when he came on as well.
Again, that seems a little bit astonishing because that's not too long ago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's crazy how quick. Do you think it's just a case of Kettlewell's come in and he's just tried to go back to basics, obviously knowing that they are so poor in the league and where they are, and just really trying to shore up the defence? And
I know. I confess, I've not seen the highlights from the St Johnstone game. I assume that they played a defensive style of play in that game. Against Partick Thistle, they got their 2-goal lead and they didn't offer too much else, and for the rest of the game they didn't need to. Partick Thistle struggled with it. They kept it tight. They were resolute. They were rarely really threatened, to be honest. And then against Air Unions again, they just look like they're comfortable now. Alex Iakoviti, if we saw the highlights against Motherwell, that was one of the greatest goal line clearances I think I've ever seen. I don't know if I'm maybe overdoing that. That is, if you haven't seen it, go and watch that, because oh my goodness, the
fact he got to it, but the fact he turned it away somehow was incredible. But
I don't know how he didn't get knocked out cold, because it was an absolute, I don't know who it was, Mazwanizi maybe, an absolute pile driver that was destined for the back of the net, and he got his head to it. And that's just, he had the ball in the back of the net against Air Unions as well. Another from a corner, it was chopped off though. But he's beginning to have obviously a big influence in this team, and maybe it's just taking Stuart Kettlewell to come in, just change things, bring it back to basics, say look, we've got the players that are hard to beat.
So yeah, it's funny, you could probably look back a few months ago, Ross County would be in the situation they are now, and maybe look at the fact we're only 10 points off the playoffs now, which they are, but I don't think that matters. It's not important. They're not going to think about that. Kettlewell's gone in, you're right, took it back to basics completely. Have you seen their new central defender? He's came in on loan from Poland.
Patan.
Did you see his first interview with the club?
I did not.
Blurred out the sponsor on his jacket, which probably sums up the fact that Ross County, you've signed too many players when you're having to give jackets clearly from like two years ago or whatever to your new signing, and he sort of just stood there with a blurred out sponsor. I'm like, I think it would be more normal just to keep the sponsor on there. But shout out to Levis Patan, on loan.
He made it into... You know that account on Twitter, the 30?
Yes.
They made it into the Championship Team of the Week. So.
Well, big shout out there. Good debut.
Doherty, so.
Good debut there. Fraser, who is your not team?
So my not team is a team that Ross County have leapfrogged in the league table, and it's Queen's Park. And again, I'd like to sort of preface this by saying there's no team that's particularly not hot. There's no team that's particularly... Everyone's just kind of lukewarm in this league at the moment. Everyone appears to have kind of drawn some games, won some games, lost some games. Queen's Park, the way, similarly to Ross County, or in sort of the inverse to Ross County, they've actually, in the league, in the last 6 matches, got really good form. But in the last couple of games, they just look like they've not quite got enough. And where Ross County are trending upwards, I think Queen's Park are trending downwards. If we take in the context of the Challenge Cup, the KDM and the Scottish Cup, they've laboured through the Challenge Cup against Forfar at home, and then they struggled under some quite peculiar circumstances down at Stair Park, but they've obviously got put out to Stranraer on penalties. And then at the weekend, Callum, you'll be able to talk to this match a lot better than I will, but from what I saw from the highlights, Queen's Park were severely outplayed by Raith Rovers at the weekend as well. So I just think their squad depth is nowhere near what Ross County have. Against Raith Rovers, they look like their confidence is maybe a little bit shot, and then they were, you could argue, maybe outplayed at times by, let's just say, a fantastic Stranraer team, but a League Two team nonetheless. And then they laboured to victory against Forfar in the Challenge Cup. So in recent times, I think Queen's Park are really struggling. They drew with Partick Thistle as well in the league a few games ago. But Partick Thistle had a man sent off in the first half, so it's a game that probably a team that's looking to steer clear of relegation would have liked to have gone on to win. So I think Queen's Park will be looking at this league at the moment and thinking that if they can just get up to 9th place, that would be a great success, because Ross County look like they're pulling away from them. And I just think, I don't know, Callum, maybe you can talk us through what you saw at the weekend, but from what I saw from the 4 goals from Raith Rovers, 3 of them were sort of stramashes in the ball. Not stramashes, but the ball sort of, it's one of those ones where the coach would say, look, first contact in the ball, get it clear. And there was a couple of times where it just bounced around the 6-yard box. It fell to Jack Hamilton, who did fantastically to put his hat-trick away with 3 sort of strikers' finishes. But on each occasion, I think the ball kind of had dropped and pinballed about between sort of attacker, defenders a few times before it did eventually get to Jack Hamilton. I think with that, a manager would be kind of a bit worried when they see that.
Yeah, Queen's Park, as you mentioned, Raith Rovers fully deserved to win the game. Queen's Park started the first half well, probably start the second half well, in all fairness as well, but everything in between was a bit of a mess. They lost 4-1 at the end of the day. I think there's quite a few players in their teams, maybe just not playing their natural positions, and they're capable players. But when you've maybe got one too many players playing in a different position, it starts to feel a bit unnatural. Louis Longridge, for example, is a player that I really like. Very good player. He's been playing central midfield as their first option basically all season as well. I sent you our second goal. We scored a lovely counter-attack, finished off by Josh Mullen, Scott Brown, 3 passes one end of the pitch, the other. Dylan Easton, there's probably not a player that I've seen play, certainly in the lower leagues, that uses his body better than him. Just knocks Louis Longridge in the back, brings it in. It was phenomenal play. Maybe a natural maybe a natural central midfielder deals with that in a different way. Yeah. Louis Longridge comes off. Aidan Connolly moves into central midfield. Aidan Connolly, I'm probably his biggest fan as well. He's one of my favourite players. Works harder than anyone. He's got a wonderful left foot. But he's 5'4". He's central midfielder in a 4-4-2. It's just a few too many players playing in the wrong positions at the back as well. You had Shields alongside Ewan Murray, who is a centre backs. Obviously, losing Fox to injury was a big loss for them, so they've moved him from left back into centre back. You can probably tell that first contact, getting the ball clear. They bought Ricky Lammy in, might be a good bit of business, but they're sort of trending the wrong way. Callum Smith in from Raith as well as a player I like, bags of energy up front, but in terms of quality in comparison to the teams around them, they really do need to hang their hat on Josh Fowler coming up with something a bit magic and then keeping the rest of the game. I say this as a compliment. I've seen them beat Raith this year. keep it quite basic. Have defenders that can head the ball away, midfielders that will, complete a few passes and just get it to Fowler, and he will score goals. It's crucial they hold on to him. Without him, they'll be done. So obviously, a week left in the January window, they'll be hoping to keep a hold of him. But otherwise, yeah, things are trending downwards. And even with Josh Fowler in the team, it might be a bit too of a big task for them to stay up this year.
I think that is kind of the issue, because Josh Fowler's 10 goals this season for Queen's Park, fantastic striker, really, really effective. But without him, it's hard to see kind of where the goals are going to come for Queen's Park. You get Seb Drodds, who scored a good goal.
Took his goal really well against Rafe, yeah.
Fantastic finish, but that's only his third of the season. Aidan Connolly scored against Stranraer, but again, doesn't get in the score sheet enough. Callum Smith might come in and add to...
Get 5 between the end of the season would be a good return. But yeah, I agree, it's a lot. And Josh Fowler, as the game went on, kept dropping deeper to try and just get involved in the play, and it wasn't working. So yeah, it's a bit worried for them.
The joint second most goals, or joint second least goals scored in the league, and joint second most goals conceded. So at both ends of the pitch, it just looks a wee bit ominous for Queen's Park. So that's where I think just in the last couple of games, whilst they had a good little spell over sort of Christmas, New Year, I'd be worried if I was a Queen's Park fan, especially when you look at the teams. Ross County, Airdrieonians even sort of trending upwards. Weirdly, Queen's Park's last win in the league was a fantastic 3-0 away win against Airdrieonians, but Airdrie just look fantastic.
They've on since then, right?
Yeah. They've got made some good signings. They look like a great footballing team, and I think a little bit more sort of shored up at the back, and a little bit more attacking threat across the piece. So I think if you just look Morton as well, I think once Ian Murray can really put a stamp on them, these teams just look like they've maybe got a little bit more in their arsenal than what Queen's Park do. But again, there's still 14-15 games left in this season, so a long way to go. Ominous times for Queen's Park fans, I think. So with that, we should go on to our final hot or not in League One. Callum, you've been sitting anxiously wanting to get going with it.
Yes, I have
Take
been.
it away.
I took first dibs when choosing teams up for this, as I wanted an opportunity to talk about the mighty Stenhousemuir as my hot team, as I've been along to a couple of their games recently. Yeah. I was meant to be working the Berwick game the week before. Civil Service Strolls away, called off because of a burst pipe side of the pitch.
That sounds like them, to be honest.
Civil Service. So I had a free Saturday afternoon, and I thought I would go down to see Stenhousemuir against Greenock Morton in the Cup, and I tell you, I was thoroughly entertained. 4-0 win against Morton, and I mean, Morton could have got into the game. Eamon Brophy had a penalty saved, but Stenhousemuir, what a team as well. And I saw them beat Stirling Albion in the Cup as well. That was just the end of the road for me. A place we know well, of course. Fourth Bank.
Absolutely.
Our days playing in the five-side cages next to it.
Hallowed turf there.
We know that place well, and I went along to watch the game. Steny as well, complete performance, 2-1 win, and then another win this weekend away to Kelty Hearts, a game that maybe never really took off in the way it should. Kelty started quite bright. They've had a tough season. Kelty looking a bit doomed at the bottom of the table, especially their home form, which has been pretty tragic, to say the least. But they did get a red card after 15 minutes. Thomas Brinley, I don't know if you saw the decision for that. Tad on the harsh side. Dale Carrick came into the team, brought down. And from then on, I kind of knew what was going to actually happen. I was at home spending some time with my family, so I didn't actually watch the second half because it went exactly how I thought it was going to go. And that's what it was. Steny, professional performance, 2-0 win. Putting some pressure on at the top of the table. It's looking quite tasty up there. Queen of the South themselves are in red hot form too. But I want an opportunity to talk about Stenhousemuir.
Yeah, no, of course. They do look fantastic. We featured their game against Greenock Morton in the Scottish Cup, and we said it had cup set written all over it. We said it would be, was it 2-1 or 3-2? We said, or
yeah, 3-2.
I think we said it was going to be 3-2. We thought, they're great in attack, but Morton will just have a little bit of threat as well. Could we not have been more wrong, Cal?
It probably should have been 3-2, to be fair.
Okay,
the way some of the
so we were right.
Steny were phenomenal and deserved to go through. And Gary Naismith's done a phenomenal job. I saw BBC Alba did a piece on him and Steny and the way they're trending, and all the players love playing for him. And I would say pound for pound, in my opinion, maybe this is a bit of a bold take as well. I think Steny are like the best team. I'm not saying they're
in Scotland,
the highest quality team, but they're the best unit of a team and a squad. I think as a group, they are so solid. Them maybe Falkirk as well.
Best where? Say it.
What?
The best where you just said the best.
Oh, in Scotland.
Oh, there we go.
The best unit. They're the best unit in Scotland for me.
Of course.
Where I went to that Starling Albion game and I called you up after, and Starling were okay in the game. It looked like Stenny could run away with Ollie White with 2 goals in that game. But I think I actually compared quite high praise to you. Stenny turned up and put quite an Arsenal-like performance in. That's what I said to you.
It was on the tip of my tongue. It is.
And they turned up. It was a narrow 2-1 win. They won it from a set piece and a second phase of play from a set piece, and they won 2-1. Fully deserved it at the same time. Starling put their bit into the game. They played quite well, but Stenny ground out the win, and they deserved to go into that game against Morton. What did they do again? 3 set pieces in that game as well, and they're just such a group and such a unit. They defend superbly, and the great thing about them, we talk about Queen's Park there, where a player comes out the team and you notice the difference. You really do. The game against Morton, Leighton Grant starting midfield, a stacked midfield. Scott McGill, you might remember his time, Hearts youngster, really come onto his game this year. He's stepped it up big time, and Ollie White, who another player, we're talking about quality Motherwell football players, he'll be in the Motherwell first team next year as well. I'm pretty sure of that. Phenomenal midfield. Leighton Grant comes out. You're thinking, oh, this could maybe make the game a bit difficult when he went off injured against Morton. Mikey Anderson comes into the team, who is another phenomenal midfielder, one of the best central midfielders in League One. Comes in, it makes no difference to the team. Up front, Ewan O'Reilly, if it's him playing, Ross Taylor went off at half-time. It doesn't make a difference. They come in and they all play for each other, and they are a proper team. I still think Inverness are going to win the league when it comes to the end of it all. They've got that extra little bit of quality, probably when it comes to their full squad as well. But Stenny aren't going anywhere, and Gary Naismith deserves all the plaudits in the world as well, because they are just such a team that play for each other. They're playing a back 3, a back 5 at this moment in time. 3 solid defenders. Archie Graham, someone that we know from his time at the Cali Braves as well, who's stepped up big time. All due respect to Archie Graham, nice lad as well. I did his first interview when he came to the Braves and everything like that. Lovely guy. I didn't think out of the Braves players he'd be the one to step up to League One that quickly, and he's done it, and he's solid and so composed in his defence alongside Gregor Buchanan and Nicky Jameson. Solid core that they build off. Magic in midfield. Scott McGill, he's got the long hair these days, slicked back, and that's how he plays. Absolutely phenomenal. A pleasure to watch. As that whole Stenhouse team.
Beautiful. World class assist against his Fife.
Oh, he took half the team out of the play with that one pass, and he's scoring goals and looks so confident with Ollie White in that midfield. One of my favourite teams to watch, and honestly, that game against Falkirk in the Cup. If you didn't know, Stenny don't like Falkirk, so I'm very much looking forward to that tie. That's going to be brilliant. Sunday night coming up.
That will be phenomenal. Just quickly before we move on to your knock, Callum, go on, put a stamp on it. Where are Stenhousemuir finishing in the league this season?
It's a very good question. Top 3, which is a very safe thing to say. It's tough to say right now. I did say before I tip Inverness for League. Queen of the South have really come onto their game. We're going to touch on them in a second. Second or third, I'd probably say for Stenny. They really limped over the line last year and just scraped their way into the playoffs and were quite easily dealt with last season, of course. So hopefully they can keep that form and that momentum. I think they will. I think they're a great team, and they'll be a really good matchup for anyone in the playoffs.
And Scottish Cup run?
Scottish Cup run. I did off the podcast. I realised I wanted to tip Falkirk. For you in this. I did. It's before the Hearts game. I said, I don't know why I didn't tip Falkirk for a cup run this year. I fancy them. So I think Falkirk will do it, but that's going to be such an entertaining game.
That will be. Scott Allen, he picked that out as his tie of the round.
Unbelievable tie.
Yeah, he's bang on. That'll be a fantastic.
I have also picked it out. That's my tie.
Yeah, Callum then Scott Allen.
I play quite similar to Scott Allen as well, don't I?
Yeah, it's a similar play style.
Sort of silky, yeah.
So inspired.
They've certainly inspired. But with that in mind, we have to do it, and we're very sorry. Callum, you're kind of going against your people here. Who's your not team?
My people are not the people of Methyl, all right? They are the
Pfeiffer, yeah.
Yeah, they're the
Methyl no more.
Exactly. They are the nottest team possibly right now in the SPFL. 6 straight defeats for East Fife and 7 berries from Dick Campbell to start off his interview. He was very angry.
I have to say, we were talking a little bit about this before we started the podcast. A few months ago, I started following East Fife on TikTok, and ever since then, every match, post-match, it's getting liked, it's getting favoured, and then it's getting sent to one of my best mates, Andy. Shout out to him as well.
Is he an East Fife fan?
He is a Hearts fan, but we share the same affinity for Dick Campbell and his antics.
A fellow Dick enthusiast.
Yeah, of course. Well, I wasn't going to say that. I appreciate
no
him.
shame in that whatsoever.
No, absolutely not.
I too am a Dick enthusiast.
Him and his brother Pink, both of them. I just love to go for a few drinks with those guys.
Oh, that would be good.
To be honest.
They obviously get into that dinner we're talking about.
But in terms of football, Callum, obviously.
Yeah, the odd thing was obviously that Dick Campbell did come out at the start of his interview and say he takes full credit, he's not going to blame his players, went off on a rant about his players for the next 5 minutes and their terrible one-on-one defending, which was very fair as well. Obviously, East Fife, he does... Well, the players do need to take that criticism, these 5 players, but
he can do that.
Dick Campbell also needs some criticism.
He's the manager in Scottish football with the most plaudits.
In his mind, he can take all criticism, but also leather his players. And that's Dick Campbell's world. We're just living in it type situation.
Yeah. So watching the highlights of that game, quite a bright start to the game for East Fife, but the capitulation was awful. I think over the last 6 games they've conceded 15 goals, only scored 1 in return as well. They've been pumped a couple of times in that run as well. They've had some tough matches in there, sure, but things are looking concerning for them. The first goal especially was just abysmal defending. Queen of the South, who, as I say, they came onto the game, they're looking really strong at this moment in time, a lot of impressive players. The attacker just went for a waltz through the East Fife defence. Strolled through.
Walking a waltz.
Walking a waltz. You got Andy Munro as a solid central defender. He was sort of playing, I believe, looked like left back on the highlights. I think left centre back. Don't know why he's not in the middle of that. Just he's sort of a big defender that will deal with things. Real issues in goal as well. Matty Roller's out injured at the moment in time. I think they could do with him back in goal. Rory Adams getting recalled as well earlier a few months ago back to Dundee United. So real struggles for East Fife, and after the game Mikey McKenna, who's a phenomenal football player himself as well, of course, got interviewed and said this is the worst it's been, and there's a real feeling that other teams in the league comes up to January as you'd expect are getting stronger and East Fife are getting weaker, and Dick Campbell sort of banged the drum again about having a weak squad and having literally no money to spend. He does have 9 substitutes on the bench, so I don't know where.
Well, that was a weird point, because listen to his interview and he said, I really want to bring in new players and I'm bringing in loads in the summer but not in January because I don't have the money. And I thought, I'm a bit confused by that.
Yeah, he did announce it. He's got 2 signings signed for next season that he's not sharing, obviously. Because,
how can he have... I don't understand.
Seems wild.
So obviously this window as well, they've announced the Kilo signing of Omar El Harak, another attacking midfielder, which is something I don't think they needed, but he comes in a Libyan under-20 international from Al Jazeera.
Did Dick Campbell go to Al Jazeera to watch him play for himself?
Potentially, maybe that's where the budget's all gone.
I've not got any money because I used all the money on the plane tickets and the accommodation.
Yeah, because there's been a couple out there signings. Dick Campbell looking into different markets. Mamadou Ba from the Gambia as well, who had a poor performance. He's played quite a lot this season. He had a poor performance on the weekend himself as well, as did everyone associated to anything defensive for East Fife. So concerns for them. They've got players. They do have some really talented players. Sam Colbert on loan from Livingston. I think David Martindale is actually building a bit of a squad potentially for the Championship next season. Some of the signings he's made. Is it Mitchell Robertson? Is it Robinson? I think it's Robertson, from Inverness, central defender, signed up for next year. Some of these players could come in. Sam Colbert, he's more than capable. Even in a 5-1 loss, you can see a little touch of class he's got in that midfield. Obviously, Alan Troughton was sent off a horrendous challenge, no excusing that. He's been struggling. But you do look at the squad, and Nathan Austin's out injured. He's a miss. But after that, maybe Brian Easton, maybe Matty Rollo in goal. There's not a huge amount of injuries to this squad, and you are thinking East Fife do need to just buck it up a little bit. Jack Duncan, I believe, of all players, was playing up front for them. This is just purely the eye test. Trialist number 24, who's referred to.
So that's the centre forward come.
Yes, who does seem to be a full-time striker. Another player that was at the Braves, good. He's a nice guy at the Braves as well, good player, but he was a central defender. Yeah. Not someone that I'd highlighted as someone that I see going into a League One team to play up front. Yeah. He put a shift in, as you expect. He didn't look awful in the highlights, but East Fife defensively just kept nothing out. Freddie Rowe, bit of shout out to him. He did come on, took his goal well, on loan from Dunfermline, and he's played a lot of football already for an 18-year-old, being in the Lowland League beforehand as well. Bowness, he really looks like he's got something about his game, sort of a similar build to like an Andy Todd for a young player on loan at East Fife from Dunfermline, as Andy Todd spent time there last season. So maybe one to look out for. Shoot of promise, Jack Healy, bit of a one-trick pony, cutting in from the left-hand side with his right foot, but he can really light it up.
That's a good trick.
Really talented. So they do have talented players in there. They could turn it around, but maybe need to stop feeling sorry for themselves a wee bit and just tighten things up at the back. That's what they need to do, I think.
Well, I very, 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 very much hope that they can do that, Cal.
Yes, because they are 8 points clear of Cove Rangers at this moment in time. I think the top 4 for the playoffs actually kind of look like they're running away a little bit out of nowhere. And Peterhead bouncing around a little bit. We don't know what's going to happen with Hamilton. Maybe that's a bit of a saving grace if there's something coming down the line, another deduction. Kelty, probably a bit too far away. East Life will just probably at this moment in time have it in the back of their mind. They just got to make sure Cove don't reel them in a bit more because Cove really have came onto their game. So I think that sums up League One.
That certainly does, yeah. I think we've summed up the hottest and the naughtest of the teams in the Premiership down to League One. If we were to vote on who is the most boiling hot team of our 3 picks, who would you go? I think we can rule Ross County out considering they've won about one game in the last.
We'll drop that.
But Steny versus Motherwell, that would be quite some game in
That would
terms
be a
of
good game of football as well.
who's the hottest.
But plenty of football to be enjoying in the lower leagues and the Premiership, of course.
Certainly, yeah.
Absolutely. It's a tough one. It is a tough one.
Tough one. I'll go Motherwell. I think they are probably the hottest. But on that note, that sort of rounds up our hot or not segment, and we should now make our way into the challenges.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Not quite like Alan Troughton though.
Boys, I'm going to be putting you to the challenge. Matthew, you're back. Have you been away researching everything Scottish football recently?
That's all that's been on my mind. I've just been locked in since that first episode. I jumped on the podcast.
Love that, right?
Locked in.
Because this could be absolutely anything you've got coming up here. Right. Challenge, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Since the start of the SPFL, there have been 9 Scottish players to score over 45 goals in the Scottish Premiership. Can you name them all?
Lawrence
Certainly
Shankland.
named some, yeah.
Lawrence Shankland is second on the list, 64 goals.
Since when?
Start of the SPFL. 2013-14 season onwards.
Lee
Scottish
Griffiths.
players. Lee Griffiths, the top scorer on the list, 91 goals in the Scottish Premiership.
Over how many?
45.
Callum McGregor. Nah, he's not scored 45, has he? Since 2013. Let's say he's doing 5 a season.
I would say he's got those numbers.
Has he done those numbers? I'd say it's worth
Put a guess in.
a guess.
Are we allowed a guess?
Well, that's the aim of the game, isn't it? You know, I'm not going
We're
to...
allowed a guess. Let's go.
Callum McGregor.
Callum McGregor, 50 goals. Very good.
Wow, that's
great shout, guys.
Fantastic.
Put some 6th on the list.
45. Some Scottish.
This is tough.
Tripping up. Simon Murray, could he be up at 45? He's been in and out of the league.
I think Simon Murray could be a shout just with the teams that he's played for.
Again, worth a punt, shall we?
Have you guys got a number you want to guess for Simon Murray?
45.
44.
Oh, you are joking me.
So maybe
You're
go this
actually
weekend. You know,
joking
so
me.
unlucky guys. First one.
Is that
missed
why you did that? Is it 9? How many players have you?
There's 2 players with 46.
2 of 46. Is Martin Boyle counted as Scottish?
No,
That's a real shame.
he would make it, but he's not going in.
He's the most...
Great question, though.
Thank you.
Great question.
Think of teams.
Yep.
Who've Hearts got an attack?
Is Kevin Nisbet
Oh.
near?
Obviously.
Kevin Nisbet doesn't crack it now.
He doesn't crack it?
No.
Wow, okay.
Stuart Armstrong wouldn't have scored 45 in his time. Dundee United, Celtic, attacking midfielder. Say he was in the SPFL for
Is he
6 seasons.
prolific? That's what I'm thinking.
Will he have scored? Probably not. I'm guessing Stuart Armstrong won't have made 40, but worth a shout. So let's go Stuart Armstrong.
No, Stuart Armstrong, no.
Idiot. This is trickier than
This is.
You've got some big names here, guys.
Lyndon Dykes.
No,
He didn't. Yeah, that's a stupid question.
he's not scored 45 goals in his career. Yeah, that was a mean joke. Sorry, I love you, Lyndon.
In the Premiership, Scottish.
There's one huge name on here, guys.
Kenny Miller?
No.
Huge name. One huge name.
Yeah.
John McGinn wouldn't. Nah, he didn't play enough.
Well, in terms of being a Scottish goal scorer, you should hold your thought, buddy. Hold your thought. That last name.
Miller. Is that?
It's not him, no.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Not McGinn.
Boyd, Chris Boyd.
Chris Boyd, of course. 53 goals, Chris Boyd.
Yeah. Okay.
You've got
Fair
you
point.
do have another big name on here that's been there the whole time. He's still playing.
Stephen McLean.
Oh, great guess, by the way. 42. Just misses out.
Stevie May.
Stevie May, well done. You got another one. 47 goals for Stevie May.
Yeah,
Come on. Don't know where Stephen McLean came from.
There's a man that makes a lot of these lists we do, and you kind of just forget he's been around for quite as long as he has, and he makes almost every list that we do.
Yeah.
High quality player.
Not in what league is he in now?
Premiership.
Still Premiership.
Still Premiership.
Okay. Nicky Clark.
No,
Nah.
not been Premiership maybe long enough, but this is a high quality player, man. He still is high quality operator.
Oh, Premiership.
You just forget that he's been around for as long as he has.
Brian Graham.
No. Similar that he's probably never been at the very top of the goal scoring charts, but
Yeah, just always there.
always scoring goals.
10 goal a season. Come on, this is...
Not Tony Watt.
Not telling you what now.
Not on the list.
Let's go through teams in our head here.
Was it
Can't think of any Motherwell players.
5 goals a season, this guy?
5 goals. And that'll do it. That'll crack it.
Yeah, that would do it, wouldn't it?
Midfielder or striker?
Neither.
Defender.
No, not a defender either, no.
Goalkeeper.
Winger.
Winger.
Yeah.
Winger.
It's taken too long to get this one.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. James Forrest.
James Forrest.
Better than Brian Laudrup.
Right. You guys have got
You said it. Not
Did you? No, I don't know. Did you
got
see that?
2 strikers left to get, okay?
2 strikers.
2 strikers left to get.
Oh, is that
One of whom is retired now. Great goal scorer in his day. I think you quite like this player.
Gary Harkins.
No. I'm not saying he's not an air player at all.
My mind's... I don't know what era to go. See, it's 2013.
This guy's retired. This guy's retired.
So
Been retired for a good few years. Been retired for a few years. He's still involved in football.
Stephen Naismith.
No.
Still involved in football. Is it?
Still involved. So is that going to be
Is he involved at Celtic by any chance?
Stephen Thompson?
No. No and no.
It's terrible. 2 horrible guesses, by the way. I can only apologise.
Didn't play in the Premiership his whole career at all. So I'm impressed he's got this many,
Stephen
actually.
Fletcher.
No. That's because he played at a lower level in Scotland.
Who might that be?
Uncapped guy. He's been a manager.
Yeah, I'm going through... Chris Doolan.
Chris Doolan.
There we go.
There we go. Well done.
There we go.
You got one more. Still a striker, not playing in the Premiership. Fair play, he's not shot this many goals.
Still a striker, not in the Premiership.
And he's still playing.
Still plays.
Yeah.
Plays in the Championship.
Okay. We can work. Jordan White.
No.
Already said Tony Watt. We've already said Brian Graham as well. He's not playing in the Championship anymore.
Zach Rudden.
No.
Sorry to Zach Rudden for the sort of disdain that I asked that question with. Anton Dowds.
Getting silly here
Yeah,
now.
that is silly.
I'm getting silly.
I've gone blank.
Getting silly.
No, we can do this. We can do this.
I believe it.
His name has been mentioned in this podcast.
Today?
Yeah. His name came up today.
No way. Jack Callum. No, sorry, I've just been silly now.
Not Robert Snodgrass.
You need not right. He's played for his national team.
So Scotland.
Well, yeah.
Eamon Brophy.
Eamon Brophy, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Well done. You got them all. Eamon Brophy, yeah, 46 goals.
Not a hard.
Oh,
hard.
Oh, whoa. You've got one more. We missed one. I'm so sorry, lads. You've got one more. This one I would not have expected. A fair play to this guy. He's a top football player. This guy. Top football player. One of my favourite.
He's not said.
in world football.
Ooh, favourite in world football.
This guy is a quality football player, and fair play that he's got this many goals.
What position?
Midfield.
Midfield. Current or not current?
Current. Currently one of my favourite players to watch in world football.
Oh, wow. What league?
I'm not telling you that yet. It's impressive he got this many goals. A lot of people don't think he's very good at shooting.
Oh,
It's just throwing me off.
okay, I know who that is. That is impressive, actually. But this makes a lot of sense. He's a big name. Like, as big as they come.
Big as they come.
Phenomenal player.
You know,
I think I know who it is.
put me out
Plays in the Premier League.
right now.
Yeah.
Absolute baller. Even-
We've said John McGinn already, right?
Not John McGinn.
It's not John McGinn. He plays in the Prem right now. We've said Stuart Armstrong, but he's Championship.
See, this is a good example of how much he's overlooked. Because I overlooked him.
I've overthought this, I think.
You are overthinking it big time. Reveal the name.
Is it Ryan Christie?
It's Ryan Christie.
I'm so mad about that, but fair play. It's
To
a
be
team.
fair-
It's a team game. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's his clue of a lot of people think he's not good at shooting.
Yeah, I knew that was,
and he is one of my favourite players in world football.
Brilliant to watch. Right, fantastic challenge from me. Round of applause for me. Let's move on to the next one. I didn't even know the Six Nations was coming up. This is news to me. And so we're going to have a little rugby-inspired challenge here. Fraser Godden, our rugby correspondent in the corner, is going to take the lead on this one. Tell us what's coming up.
That's it. So if SPFL football players were to play in the Six Nations, what position would they play? So this is interesting because a lot of football fans don't like rugby, but a lot of football fans do, and I certainly do. And the Six Nations are coming up, and inspired by Finn Russell saying that he is rugby's Lionel Messi, we thought we'd try and put together a few of the main
Quick fire
positions.
question. Who does the national anthem better? Scotland football fans, Scotland rugby fans?
There's only one answer here. It's football.
Correct. Right. You've been kicked off the podcast in a second.
Crazy.
So give us a little rundown of the position.
So we'll start with number one. Position number one, loose head prop. They're the guy that just gets in the middle of the scrum. They've got cauliflower ears. They carry the ball. They run at people. They tackle people. They normally weigh about 200 kilos. So I think there's only one man for this job.
Surely it has to be Grant Hanley, doesn't it, Cal?
Got to be Grant Hanley. He looks like Tig Furlong. For those who don't know, he's Ireland's number 3. He's just big head, big everything.
Good for you, Grant.
Yeah, I didn't plan that one, but yeah, huge guy. He will carry the ball.
Huge guy. Big everything, man.
Pause.
He's got loose head prop written all over him.
Yeah.
So, second position now, we'll go to the second row, which is number 4, number 5. Matthew, take this one away.
I think for me, it's going to have to be Tete Yengi, just putting himself about up there, really tall as well. I don't know what you guys think.
Tete Yengi's got one thing, he's got reach, that guy, and bounce.
He has got reach.
Yes, exactly. And he's Australian as well, so he can bounce like a kangaroo.
He's played a few games of rugby then, surely.
Bloody kangaroo, man.
Exactly. So he loves rugby. And in the second row, what's their key job is to jump and get the ball in a line out. We've all seen that in rugby. And Tete Yengi's arms could touch the sun.
Oh, he's just bouncy as fuck, that guy. Yeah, get him in there.
Tete Yengi, number 5.
Okay.
Then it's scrum half. Scrum half, number 9. It's the nippy one. He's in the ear of the referee. He doesn't shut up. He's a metronome of the team. There's only one man for this job, Matthew.
The first name that came to my head, Fraser, Cammy Devlin.
Cammy Devlin. It's not deliberate that they're all Aussie, but it just so happens that a lot of them are
It's
Aussie.
It's just in their character.
Yeah, their DNA.
It's in the blood.
Bloodstream, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the biggest wee shite there is.
exactly.
And we love him.
And that's how, if we think of the best number 9s in world rugby, they all like getting in the ear of the referee, and Cammy Devlin would do just that. It's
Winding up the opposition as well. Is there a little bit of that? in
exactly,
there?
yeah. Shit stirrers for sure.
Okay.
So, Cammy Devlin, number 9.
Brilliant.
Then, Callum, do you want to take this one? This is number 10.
We give us a summary of what we need for number 10.
So for number 10, this is a fly half. You need the metronome of the team, the magician, the guy that's going to score points, he's going to kick, he's going to make the play, shall we say. as Finn Russell said, he's the Lionel Messi of rugby. So who is the Finn Russell of the SPFL?
Our number 10 is going to be Elijah Just, one of the most mercurial players you will see in the Scottish Premiership.
Exactly. And he's Kiwi. Again, the best rugby players on the planet.
It couldn't be more of a perfect match, Fraser.
Exactly. So we can see Elijah Just quite small, but he would not shite out of a tackle.
Oh no.
And he would put that ball on a plate for any of
He's good at the
Dan Hanley or Tete Yenge or Cammy Devlin.
Hardy's quite good at the old haka as well.
Is it? Exactly.
Yeah,
He'll lead
I
that.
can see it.
He'd be at the front leading the haka for sure. And then finally, number 15, fullback. This is the attacker, the last line of the defence, but also try scorer. The Stuart Hogg. Maybe cut that out actually because he's last line of defence. Guy that's going to score tries. He's going to kick the ball for miles. Who would that be?
So when I think of a player that's both attack and defence, can score goals, has played a bunch of positions as well, I want to chuck in a wee honourable mention for Callum Patterson. Some of the best celebrations I've ever seen in the Scottish Premiership as well. But I think we were thinking of a certain Lyndon Dykes.
Lyndon Dykes.
I mean, Callum Patterson, the ultimate utility man, could do any job. A unit as well, the size of that guy.
Legend.
Look, Lyndon Dykes knows his rugby.
He's played his rugby. He almost was a rugby player. He is made.
How is he not a rugby player in a way?
He's a great football player.
Yeah.
He's a bit Aussie as well.
He is.
He's half Aussie, so he would be fantastic. Number 15, you can see he would score tries like he does in football, score goals, but he'd half someone down if he had to. So he is ready-made for number 15 on the rugby field.
Love it. What a team this would be.
Smashed it.
Fantastic, yeah.
Is that your final position for us?
That is our final position, unless you want to do one more.
Well, I'm happy with that, yeah. Yeah, you're the leader there, buddy.
It's our five-a-side rugby team.
Five-a-side rugby team, yeah. Make it a thing, right? We've got one more challenge to round this episode off, and we're going to bring back a previous, I don't know if it's probably not a favourite just yet, but it went down well. Yeah. It's one I enjoyed. We're going to be looking at the most successful players to play for certain SPFL teams, as long as they've featured for them in the last 10 years. Now, this isn't going to be who's been the best player for this team, the success of their club. I don't know who's been the most successful player playing for Hearts over the last 10 years. You've got an example for me here?
Probably going to have to be...
Put you on the spot there, sorry, buddy.
Yeah. We were talking about this a little bit before. I think when you look at it, you probably have to go the likes of Robert Snodgrass, Aaron Hickey as well.
That kind of thing, yeah. So that's our example. Hearts is going to be one of our teams, so we'll jump in for the chat on that. But we're not going to do it's not going to be like Lawrence Shankland. It's not going to be the best Hearts player over the last 10 years. It's going to be the most successful ones. We've got good Hearts debate to come up. We've got 4 teams we're going to cover. Last time we did some big hitters. We did Queen of the South. We did Montrose. We did Alloa, Aberdeen. This time we got 4 different teams. So who has been the most successful player to feature for this SPFL club as long as they've played for them in the last 10 years? So we're going to start off with the one and only Raith Rovers. Close to my heart, this one. We've got some candidates, but the man we're going to go for is Rudy Scatchell.
That's it. And we've got Matthew here, the Hearts fan. He's a legend for both clubs.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, absolutely. Callum, how many goals did they score for Raith Rovers by any chance?
Big 0. Double O, Rudy Scatchell, double agent. Yeah, just squeaks in with his one season at Raith Rovers, which was very unmemorable. Put his one good performance in against Hearts in the Scottish Cup, because I think he wanted just to get a clap from the Hearts fans, basically. Not too memorable for us, but yeah, you can say he had quite a good career elsewhere.
I think that's an understatement in terms of, I don't want to be too biased as a Hearts fan, but
You're going to be.
I'm happy with that pick.
Yeah, I mean, other candidates we had in there, Kevin Nisbet, Danny Armstrong, Jordan Thompson, Northern Ireland International, another player that was terrible in that team that got relegated, went up to have a great career. But we've just given it to Rudy Scatchell, as much as it pains me to do so.
Yeah, that's hard to argue. What a career he had. Internationalist as well.
Yeah, Ryan Hardy as well, a player that I do like a lot. Didn't quite make it, but yeah, an internationalist, as you say. Do you want to move on to our next team?
Yeah,
It's Alloa.
Oh,
sorry, it wasn't Alloa last time. It was Ayr United we did last time. Today we're doing Alloa. Alloa, who's the player going to be?
Alloa Athletic. There's a couple of options for this, but for Alloa Athletic, Ross Stewart.
Yeah.
What a career he's having. If it wasn't for injury, he could be one of the Championship's leading marksmen, maybe even in the Premier League with the way his career was trending, but he's gone on to have a fantastic career since leaving Alloa. where it all, maybe arguably all started really for him.
Oh, it started. Where was he playing beforehand?
Victoria, Victoria was it? Or?
Had to find the transfer fee, didn't he? His dad had to raise it so Albion Rovers could buy him. Is that not right? So yeah, what a rise to the top for that guy. Scott McKenna as well deserves credit. He sneaks in with 4 games on loan. And maybe if we were being fair, we'd give it to Scott McKenna. But we're not being fair. We're giving it to Ross Stewart because he was owned by Alloa. But Scott McKenna, what a career he's having as well.
Potentially could win the league for Dinamo Zagreb this season as well. They're near up the top. So, listen, he's a journeyman around the European leagues at this point. But, yeah, good to see McKenna in there as well.
Racking up the air miles, if nothing else as well. But
and shout out to Stefan Skugel as well. He's had a great career.
Stefan Skugel's had a brilliant career. Connor Salmon.
Yeah. And Michael Chopra.
He sneaks in this season as well, so would have been a good shout. But we're going to give it to Ross Stewart, albeit Scott McKenna is very close to getting that one as well, isn't he? So
fantastic, yeah, well deserved from Ross Stewart.
Right, should we move on to Heart of Midlothian? Matthew, I want you to reveal our winner for Heart of Midlothian.
I think our winner has to go to Robert Snodgrass. You look at the career that he's had, both obviously internationally, mainstay in the Premier League for the likes of Norwich, Hull City, West Ham, played for Leeds United as well when they were in the Championship, and had a loan spell at Aston Villa. I think when you look at his career overall, West Bromwich Albion as well, I think it's hard to look past him. We talked a little bit about the likes of Aaron Hickey, who's played in Serie A in the Premier League as well.
Stop, you didn't even mention Starling Albion.
Well.
Shout out the Beanos, all right? But Aaron Hickey, I agree on that one. When it's all said and done, this might be Aaron Hickey, but obviously still early days in his career. There was one other brilliant shout you gave us when we were talking about this.
I just plucked it out of thin air, Callum, to be honest with you.
You jumped into the trenches and came out.
I did, yeah. I had to relive a lot of painful memories there. But Glenn Whelan played 19 times for Hearts in the 1920 season. Not a lot of pace there, I have to say.
Alrighty.
But you look at his career, again, another Premier League mainstay. A lot of his game time played at Stoke City as well, Sheffield.
Tony Poulis team, man.
Yeah, so
Glenn Whelan, that's a phenomenal shout. That's what this is what this idea is all about. You kind of forget Glenn Whelan was playing for Hearts.
Yeah.
But he did have a brilliant Premier League career.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. Premier League star.
International career as well.
Internationalist, yes.
Played internationalist.
Many
91 games for Republic of Ireland.
Played at the Euros, yeah. So fantastic player. That is a phenomenal shout because he's a player that I would never have come up with, but I do.
But the Snod, what a player. He sort of fizzled out a little bit at Hearts as well, didn't he? He's playing a sort of a deep lying central midfielder.
I think by the time he got to Hearts, I think he had lost a lot of pace, and how it kind of ended towards the end for him wasn't great. But listen, on his day, obviously, you mentioned earlier in his career, a lot of his best time was down in England. He's still in Albion. Let's not forget.
He was the sort of Scott McTominay of the Scotland team of his generation, really. There was a time where Scotland didn't have too many attacking sort of threats. And
it was that shining light a little bit.
Yeah, Robert Snodgrass was the man. He was the one scoring goals in the Premier League, getting man of the matches in the Premier League and scoring against Croatia for us. So, lest we forget Robert Snodgrass.
And maybe a very staunch of you there. Maybe a small shout out as well, Stephen Naismith as well, who had a good Premier League career. Maybe a few Rangers fans watching would disagree, but we've gone for Robert Snodgrass. And our final team, this is a fun one, is Clyde. We had a shout out to any Clyde fans watching. We had a few comments last time, a bit more Clyde content needed. So I actually looked through a lot of candidates for this one, but the winner is going to be the one, the only, Marvin Andrews.
Big Marv. Yeah, what a career he had from his time at Rangers as well, obviously, and then to Clyde FC.
Yeah, I mean, a popular guy in Scottish football, loved Raith Rovers, still lives in Kirkcaldy these days. He's a preacher and living the dream in Kirkcaldy. You know, where else would you want to be?
Fantastic for him.
Sneaks in one season at Clyde, a season, 15-16, so perfectly fits in that one season 10 years ago at the tail end of his career. But what a career he did have. Internationalist himself as well.
Yes.
World Cup player.
Fantastic. He's done it all. What was his time at Clyde like? Was it a success?
I don't know too much about his time at Clyde, but to be fair, looking through Clyde,
there's a few,
really good shots.
A lot of surprising ones in there. The likes of Scott Tiffany, Dylan Easton, and Gomes as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, Gomes, still going as well. East Stirlingshire these days.
Trudging along.
I found John Rankin in there.
You've not even mentioned your favourite yet.
Gregory Taddy was there. Scott McMahon.
Oh,
Clyde.
player.
Dylan Easton was a close runner-up for this one as well. What a career he's gone on to have as well. Spoke well about his time at Clyde when we met him, of
He
course.
certainly did, yeah. He certainly did.
But
I think even he would concede that Marvin Andrews maybe had a slightly better career.
A hero around Cuddy, obviously.
Quick shout out to my friend Finn as well. A massive Clyde fan, super fan of him. Has worked in the media team for Clyde as well. So shout out to Finn.
I don't think I've ever actually met a Clyde fan.
They're rare. He's a Clyde and a Spurs fan, so it's
okay.
pretty tough for him.
Where's he from?
He's from Pennycook.
I don't know where Clyde fans really come from these days because they're a bit.
His dad was a Clyde. I think his dad was one of his family members was a Clyde fan.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah,
Went along to the games.
brilliant. And they've had some great players in the last 10 years, or
They certainly
they've had the sort of the shells of great players at the end of their careers, or the start of their careers, I suppose, as well for some of them. So that rounds up another episode of Joga Bonito.
It certainly does. It's been a pleasure. We've touched on the hottest and the naughtiest teams in the SPFL and had some pretty good challenges as well. So, yeah, pleasure from me.
Matthew Burns-Jono, thank you for joining us once again. We'll be seeing you before too long, I'm sure.
I hope so, boys. Listen, thanks so much for having me on again. Really enjoyed it as always, and look forward to the next one already.
Brilliant, loving it. And obviously check out your stuff as well. Foreign Field still cracking on with that.
Still going along. Have been doing a lot more kind of Hearts content lately, but still
Jumping
trying
on
to.
the bandwagon.
Shocking, isn't it? But it's just the nature of it, I suppose. But hoping to get a few more kind of interviews kind of locked in early kind of spring time we're looking at. So hopefully be seeing a bit more from that soon.
Who's that?
I could. I don't want to reveal too.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll let you know.
Off camera.
Yeah. Maybe by next episode we might know. Yeah, keep the mystery a little bit.
Fraser, anything else for you? Is that you?
Nah.
Good to go. Well, I can see our camera's cut off here, so I'm gonna jump into frame with Matthew here.
Brilliant.
Just say enjoy your football this weekend, especially if you're a Raith Rovers fan playing United, of course. 3-0. It's going to be my prediction for Raith Rovers. So I look forward to that one. Matthew, thanks again for joining us. Fraser.
Cheers, lads.
Joga Bonito is finito.
Brian.
Nice.